Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Ask Amity Show. My name's Edmund.
I'm Jennifer.
I'm Cindy.
And we're the attorneys here at Amity Law Group in Rosemead, California.
So today's topic is going to be about gifting now or leaving your assets to be inherited by your children. So Jen, why don't you tell us why gifting is good or bad?
So gifting is something that occurs during your lifetime. So within my lifetime, however long I live, I can choose to decide whether or not I want to transfer something to my kids or, my friend or whoever it is. So that happens during your lifetime. So I guess the good thing about it is maybe whoever's receiving the asset will be very happy and very appreciative. Right. Yes. But why do we need to kind of take a step back and think about it is because there are certain repercussions of gifting, right? So number one is the obvious, which is the loss of control. Once you gift it, the gift is complete. You no longer own it, so you lose the control. So let's say, my house now, if I decide, hey, I'm gonna transfer it, I'm gonna just gift it to Cindy. She can now do what she wants. She can kick me out. I can no longer live there. She can sell it. So that's the gifting part. That's number one, you lose control. Number two would be what we call the basis, right? So as we all know, when we buy something and we earn money, there's a gain and we have to pay taxes on it. So in certain situations where somebody purchased a property, maybe 10, 20 years ago, the basis was really low. So they purchased it for a very cheap price. For example, a house they bought for maybe $300,000. Now it's worth $800,000. So if they gift it, then the base is still at $300,000. So if I gift my home now to Edmund, I bought it for $300,000. Edmund goes around and sells it, then he has to pay $500,000 worth of capital gains taxes because he's gained this amount from 300 to 800. So, but in order to avoid that, Edmund, why don't you talk about the inheritance part, if you leave it as an inheritance?
Yeah, so when you, for example, leave your home to your kids as an inheritance, they get what's called a step up in basis. So for example, if you bought the property at $100,000, let's say low end $100,000, and at the time of your death, it's all the way up to $1 million, right? If you leave that property to your kids, they inherit it either through a will or a trust, or through not through a will or a trust, then they go around and sell it. But what happens is they don't have to pay any capital gains tax if they sell it at $1 million, because when the federal government and the state calculates capital gains when it comes to inherited assets, they will calculate it based on the difference from the value at the time of the person's death and the value at the time that the asset is sold. So for example, at the time of someone's death, if the home is worth $1 million and a week later the child sells it for $1 million, the capital gains tax is zero. And so as opposed to a lot of money, right? If you were to gift the $1 million home during your lifetime, there's going to be a huge tax bill waiting for your kids.
Yeah, and what's even better is that if you were married, your spouse has that second step up. So you've again bought the home for $100,000. At the time of your death, it's $1 million. And then your spouse dies a couple years later, where the home value has increased to $2 million per se. And by then, your children can inherit the property and still pay zero in capital gains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think the takeaway would be leave it as an inheritance versus a gift if you're concerned about capital gains tax.
Right.
So it's a really useful tool for a property that has appreciated by a lot. And you want to be able to take advantage of that. Everyone should be able to take advantage of it. It's there for you to take advantage of.
Right. All right, well, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any other questions about estate planning, wills, or trusts, let us know in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer for you on our next show. See you then.